number 1, it's Gosu Gatored versus Rockkiss LiveZerg. We head on over to our first map, Emerald Jungle.
Yeah, man, it's going to be a PvZ here, and, you know, this could be a pretty hard map to play on because it is pretty wide open, so Forge Fast Expand would be pretty hard to pull off. Of course, at the same time, the Zerg is going to have to be more careful about, you know, his spine crawler placement and how many he has. But, you know, as a result, you know, I wouldn't be surprised to see something like a 1 Gigate Expo from Gatored. At the same time, I still do see players on maps like this try to pull off the Forge expansion regardless. But let's see, where is that pro going? No, he's going to go ahead and put the pylon on the upper ground, so he will be going for most likely something like a 1 Gate expansion.
Yeah, I do like the 1 Gate expansions now. It's not as bad to 1 Gate expansion, I think, than to Forge Fast Expand. I think Forge Fast Expand is really out of the question. Well, not completely out of the question.
It's just like almost impossible on this map. I mean,
some people are very, very, you know, stubborn with it.
Right.
I've
they
met
go
a
for
lot
it
of
every game, even on like Zelnaga Caverns.
They don't
go
even
for
care.
It.
Yeah. I've even seen White Rock go Forge Fast Expansion on Zelnaga Caverns. I'm like, wow, you are crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
And then go 1 Gate Expo on Shakira's Plateau. It's like, wait, what?
You just did that in the
that's what Asus ROG Stars Invite. Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
Asus. Feels Asus.
Asus, yo. Republic of Gamers.
And I think Gator knows.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was saying, man, in some of our previous matches. If I had to guess, well, I don't know, man.
All right, well, let's talk about how we think it's, you know, a little bit Zerg favored.
Right. I would actually say more than a little bit personally, but I don't know. I could be wrong. Okay. We haven't seen that many games on it.
First, let's talk about the counterattacking options.
Yeah, you have a lot of paths. Yeah, there's everywhere, man. There's so many paths, and there's only one Zelnaga tower in the center of the map, so very hard to watch for those types of things coming at you. And everything's really wide open. There aren't almost any small choke points on the entire map. So really hard to abuse force field, really hard to abuse things like Colossi, much easier for someone like a Zerg player, for example, to go for things like flanks, which are so critical for the Zerg race. Yeah,
and I think that's what it really comes down to. Taking expansions becomes really, really hard for Protoss as the game goes forward. Well, it has to do with those counterattacking options. You just have to over-defend, so it can be very difficult. You need a ton of cannons to defend a third base even, and that's like one of your main staples. You need a third base to play this macro style. So I expect Gatored, honestly, to do some sort of 6-gate. Or,
yeah,
you know,
I wouldn't
4
be
or 5,
surprised
6
at
gate, something like that.
all to see that. It is a good map for something like that. You know, we can just come over to the third and punish them. Look at that pylon block at the natural right as the probe's about to die. Nice play there by Gatored. We'll be able to deny that expansion for even longer. Wait for those Zerglings to kill off that pylon. They'll probably cancel it as it's about to complete, though. His core is just finishing. He did get double gas, so it's going to be a double gas. I mean, he could go for some type of 1-base all in here. I'm just guessing it would be 1-gate expanse since that is just so much more common in the metagame. But then again, 1-gate expo when the natural is so wide open is hard to pull off. You don't have enough force fields available, and thus it's possible he'll go for something more like a 2-gate, maybe even 3-gate expand, or some type of 1-base play. Obviously, a lot of Protoss players like to go for that Stargate, sometimes 1-gate Stargate expand, so again, the Void Raid be completely safe against any type of Zergling or Roach shenanigans.
Yep, so for now he is looking like he's going to 1-gate expand. He has 2 sentries on the way. I highly doubt, double gas as well. I highly doubt that we'll see a 4-gate, but he could 4-gate after he fast expands. That's perfectly viable. We see that actually all the time.
Oh man. 2 additional gateways.
2 additional gateways go down.
Yeah, we don't see another one though, so not going to be a 4-gate. It is just going to be a 3-gate. Oh wait, maybe. He's getting his prep. No, okay, never mind. He's going to make a pylon on the ground. So it's going to be a 3-gate expo, and I understand this move. It's because it's so wide open, man. He needs more sentries with a 1-gate expo. If your Zerg opponent simply made like 16 early speedlings instead of droning up on 2 base, he would be able to hard counter 1-gate expo almost every single time on a map like this. Yeah. And thus he's going to go for the 3-gate expo. However, I got to say, since 3-gate expo is so figured out nowadays, and you know, Zerg players are having a not too hard time countering it, I feel like maybe something like a middle ground, a 2-gate expo, just to get more sentries, but not wait, not delay your expansion would have been the better move.
For sure.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
No, I would agree with you completely right there, because I feel like 3-gate expo at this stage in time is just figured out way too much. Now, one thing, okay, finally a Zerg coming over here. LiveZerg is going to spot out this Nexus going down. And now, in his mind, he's saying, is it going to be a canceled Nexus, or is it going to be just a straight-up
Right. Well, what's key here, what I really love about Gator's play, is that he did leave those 2 sentries on the upper ground. So all LZ could see, when he went over there, all LiveZerg could see was 1 Zealot and 1 sentry. Every Zerg ever right now is scouting as hard as they can to keep track of that sentry count. Right now, he sees this. He doesn't know if there could be some like Stargate coming out. Maybe it's a DT expand. He doesn't know what he's spending his gas on, and critically, he's not going to realize it's a 3-gate expand. You know, he might even think it's just a 1-gate expand due to that, and then he might not counter it properly.
Now, if LiveZerg is a good Zerg, he will go up. Never mind, he has an.
There we go.
He has an Overlord
Yep.
coming in here.
That's
but
fantastic.
still, it doesn't give a complete. It doesn't give a complete tell. There could still be some sort of Dark Templar attack. I think still, if LiveZerg is a good Zerg, he will throw down that Evolution Chamber. There it goes, and he will throw down some preemptive Spore Crawlers.
Yeah, he might do that just in case. I mean, he did see the 3 gateways. He should know this timing with the Nexus on the way. I don't think it would be. I mean, I could be wrong, but with the number of sentries he saw, I don't know if it would be possible. I'm not completely sure. Yeah, so that 3 total. I mean, I guess it could be some kind of DT play, but he probably would have seen the Twilight unless he was, you know, sent elsewhere. But yeah, he might set up those spores. But what I really love about the Evolution Chamber against this type of play is you can get those fast upgrades. If you get that fast +1, it can help you out so much against large numbers of sentries. And we do see Gatored moving out, oh my gosh, for very early pressure with just those 3 gateways. And we'll have to see if LZ will be properly defended. He does have those 2 spine crawlers in place.
And look, he's just doing 3-gate pressure. There isn't a huge. Oh, well, he probe cut.
Nice force fields though, man. Look at that. Catches a queen off guard. That was the extra queen, so LZ not going to be able to transfuse or throw down as many creep tumors here.
Yep, 9 roaches on the way out. Oh, gets the money force field right over there. It looks like 9 roaches on the way out. 4 or 5 of which are on the top ground, or bottom ground. 5 of which are on the top ground. We'll see if he can actually do anything with this. Gatored might be looking really, really good. Both supplies are very, very even. He's sharking around to the 3rd base.
Oh no!
And he might deny that 3rd.
Yeah, this is a great move. Going into that natural where the spine crawlers are at would not be a good idea. But there, he sees the 3rd. Great play. It immediately double force fields the ramp since, of course, he doesn't have that upper ground vision. Doesn't know if the units are about to run down there.
Counterattack going on the natural of Gatored's base. Zerglin's going to run in here. There is a single cannon over here, but the 4 Zerglings will squeeze through into the main, and it looks like Gatored will completely retreat with his main army.
Wow, but you know what? He took out the 3rd, and critically, there was no cancel. He was spending too much time.
Really?
Yeah, that's why I was watching that. Unfortunately, he spent too much time microing the Zerglings. Now, he did get 6 worker kills. That's nice, but he didn't cancel the hatchery. That's 300 minerals down the drain. Could have gotten back, what, 225 from that. So, you know, that's a pretty big blow right there. Now, it's good that you kill off some of those probes, because right now it is 45 drones to 40 probes, but it is still going to be a 2-base Zerg against a 2-base Protoss. Not a position many Zergs like to be in, but he's got up to quad gas with his lair. Now, do you think this is going to be for Muta or just for those infestors with those roaches?
I think it's just going to be, you know, just the regular upgrades. I would expect him just to get the +2 attack or reconstitution, just start, you know, churning out those roaches with better upgrades. I don't think he'll go directly to infestors, but later on he will.
Yeah, of course. I mean, right now he does, of course, need to pump as much money into those upgrades as possible. You definitely don't need quad gas just to produce roaches, though, and get those upgrades. So you probably will add that on. As you said, just a little bit later, he does have his 3rd now on the way, of course, and he's getting great creep spread over there as well. I really love that he's continuing that. Gatored is scouting out that the other 3rd at the bottom right of LZ's main, but he does have a pylon there as well. He's going to scout with that probe, but it will not get into the main. But you know what? He's getting hallucinations, so he'll be able to use that to scout. But I'm pretty surprised he went for that, actually, because he already has a robo and has an observer already going towards LiveZerg's base. So that just seems a little bit redundant to me. I'm not sure.
Now, it's interesting at this point. Gatored hasn't really commit to anything just yet. He's going for Immortals at this point. He only has 3 gateways, and I feel like him going for a 3rd base would be really, really bad for him. It would be a bad position to be put in because, you know, going for that expansion just slows you down so much. You're not able to really materialize in your advantage, and I think he has a very high sentry count. He should really start utilizing that valuable resource, but it looks like LiveZerg, he might just allow him to utilize it for him.
Yeah, he's might be going for the attack right here. That Zerg does see the very high sentry count. That's what's critical. Gatored made the great decision after taking out the hatchery, as you said, of falling back. Instead of going for the attack, he kept every single sentry alive, and that is huge coming into the mid-game to have all that energy available. Look at that, hallucinating those 2 Phoenixes at the same time so he can check out where the Zerg army is as well as scout out his entire base. They are much faster than those observers, so can help him out for that. But of course, that also lets LiveZerg know that hallucinations are on the field and that those aren't real Phoenixes. So if he realizes that, then any hallucinations later on, so you know, to use in his army won't be quite as effective. But I'm a little bit worried because LiveZerg has not made an Overseer, and you need that detection to counter a hallucination when you go in for an actual army engagement, because otherwise they can hallucinate a whole bunch of Immortals, Archons, etc., and you're not going to know which ones are the real ones.
Well, it looks like he'll drop back for now. Galio Reconstitution has finished +2 attack. It's just about done, 60 or 50 seconds away done. So he will have that as an advantage. Where let's look at Gatored's upgrades. He's at +1 attack, +1 armor coming out as we speak. Colossus is being made, and Gatored, for now, he hasn't thrown down that much production. He's just going to optimal saturation, at least, or a little bit more. He's going to fully saturate. Oh, yeah, he's taking the third, excuse me.
Yeah, he has been taking that third. Walled it off. I love that wall off as well, so they can help deal with counterattacks. Just have one main choke point they has to defend for his natural and his third in main. But, you know, LZ is making that he's making that Spire, so we'll be able to go up to those Corruptors to help deal with those Colossi. I don't think he's actually scouted out the Colossi yet. I could be wrong about that, but he's sending an Overseer right now, so he should realize exactly what's going on, be able to make all those Corruptors. Unfortunately, he's making a lot of Hydras right now. Not going to work out too well against those Colossi, but if you can keep them alive behind his Roaches, they will add quite a bit of DPS. But I do like Gator's composition just a little bit more. It's so much more fleshed out, and you know, he's got a whole bunch of different units in here: Sentry, Zealots, Immortals, Stalkers, Colossi. Whereas basically LiveZerg just has Mass Roach, although he has mixed in a couple Hydras. So Gator does have the advantage in that regard. But look at the food, man: 184 to 131.
Yep. I kind of still question, you know, LiveZerg's inactivity though. Having that many sentries out for this long, you just have so much sentry energy to deal with. And you saw, like, in the beginning of StarCraft 2, we saw Zergs just fall flat in their face when this 200 army busts out because there's just too many sentries with energy in there. And that's not normally something that we see this day and age. Zergs are a lot more active. They're attacking a lot more fiercely. They're doing this high aggression, and we haven't seen that at all coming out.
I kind of like it because Gator is going to be forced right now. By the way, nice creeps by LiveZerg all the way up to Gator's base that Gator is now trying to take out. But Gator's actually moving out. I don't know if he's just going to take out the creep spread or actually go for the attack. I think he's probably just going to go for the creep spread. I could be wrong, though. But I feel like in this type of position, on this type of a map, when there are so many attack paths and they're really wide open, it would be a better idea to go for that Protoss tile of waiting for that 200 to move out.
Yeah.
Because if you do move out with a smaller army and you face counterattacks and you face flanks and you lose a lot of those extremely expensive units like Sentries and Colossi, you can put yourself way behind coming in the late game. Now, of course, the problem is LiveZerg is double expanding to the top left, and, you know, Gator has not scouted that, and he also has no real way to put on aggression except for this Warp Prism, which he has. But he doesn't have, like, a Dark Shrine, just going to be able to use Zealots, so we'll have to see. Will LiveZerg be able to defend well enough? The biggest problem here is that while he has great creep spread towards Gator's base, he doesn't have any connecting to those top left bases, so it might be a little bit difficult to defend.
Of course, let's go off segmenting a lot of these units. Really, really important. He needs to kill those Corruptors. That's probably the most important thing at this point. Force fields are good, really bottlenecking all of these Roaches in. It's a 300 stand right now. And it looks like LiveZerg will just progress on. He's getting great position on his opponent. Yeah,
he definitely doesn't want to engage in that choke point that Gator's trying to use, but this is not going to be a good choke point for Gator either. Look how much of his army is just stuck behind there. So while a lot of the units are stuck behind the force fields, Gator is not attacking with his entire army as well. He's in a lot of trouble right now. The Immortals kind of just walking back and forth. He is killing off a lot of units very efficiently, but I would love to see LiveZerg just go put on pressure into the natural. There we go. Just target fire down the Nexus while he keeps the rest of the units contained over there. Oh my god, the force field's working against Gator. He's going to move forward, try to pick off the Forge. Oh no, he doesn't pick it off.
45 hit points.
Level 2 upgrades is about to complete. Now he's going to have level 2 upgrades for this entire engagement. That's going to help out Gator an unbelievable amount, and LZ could have stopped that very easily, but he still has so much of an army that is still not looking that good for LZ. Another Colossus comes out, but it's being target fired by those Corruptors. Immediately, he's going to be able to kill off. Immediately, only 2 shots go off from that Colossus, and now, of course, Gator forced to fall back into that position at the third, and LZ might be able to take out the natural.
He does have a lot of Stalkers. He can get the Stalker count up really nicely with that Blink. It's going to be very hard to actually kill this. Is he going to tear through these Roaches and Hydras? That's the big question.
He will, man. He has so many Stalkers, and he has that +2 upgrade, and at the same time, with the Warp Prism, he did the Zealot drop, killed off the top left base, and might be able to kill off this next one as well.
Oh my god.
So LiveZerg is actually in quite a bit of trouble. Now he's going to lose the rest of these Corruptors with these Blink Stalkers underneath of them, able to pick them off very, very easily. So he might have made a big error there. You know, as we said, if he had picked off that Forge, I think he could have actually just won that entire engagement.
I do too.
But with +2
I think
done,
that's critical.
Yeah, +2 for Blink Stalkers makes an unbelievably huge difference. So the fact that he didn't just do the last like 2 or 3 attacks to kill that off, you know, could just be the blunder that might cost him the game. The Zealots are trying to kill off the hatchery, but it looks like the Zerglings will be able to prevent that and keep it alive. But remember that he was trying to rely on that double expansion, and he's only going to have that one for now and still doesn't have the creep spread.
He still has the Warp Prism over there. He's warping in additional Zealots at this point, so a lot of Zealots going to be committed over there. No drones being transferred at this time. Oh, I take that back. Holy crap, a lot of... Okay, they're not transferred to the right place.
Yeah, what are they...
I have no clue what they're...
Why would they do that? Okay, well, he's going to maybe see those Zealots coming, though. He's going to need to bring his army back. Actually, I don't think he's noticed. There we go. Now the army's coming back. Of course, those Hydras, so slow off creep, going to have to bring those Zerglings in, but he's just going to target fire the hatchery. And since LZ is so out of position, he's going to lose this hatchery, and now he's going to be back down to 3-base against a 3-base Protoss, who's trying to take us fourth. So while these Zealots will be picked off, the Warp Prism has now moved into the main and is now warping in Zealots there. He'll be able to take out some of the tech, and yet again, LiveZerg's in entire army is out of position. He literally just sent his entire 180 food army all the way over to that base just to deal with 4 Zealots. So now he's completely underprepared in his main. Might lose some tech here. Actually, the Zealot's not really target firing. They are killing off the Queen. Maybe go for that Spire now. But unfortunately, that lack of crew stretch over to that top left base is causing LiveZerg so much trouble.
Yep, the War Prism will be taken out finally by these Corruptors over here, so that'll be one thing to just be happy about, I guess, from LiveZerg. Yeah. But, you know, honestly, his army composition is not good against Colossus.
Look at this man, though. The 4th base has been denied by this burrowed Zergling. He's actually forced to put up cannons, but he can't afford to take time away from that Robo to make that Observer.
Yeah.
Finally gets the Observer out, but man, was that base delayed. Very nice play by LiveZerg.
Still, it's just Zergling Hydra off creep against Colossus. 3 Colossus. So I don't care if you have these Corruptors out. It's only 4.
Not enough.
So he's not going to kill him fast enough. This army is just going to melt.
Oh my god. He's sending in all the Zerglings through one choke point between the cannons. They take so much splash damage, die instantly to those Colossi. Now 1 Colossus does go down, but there are still 3 alive, and he's going to be able to kill off. The Hydras are still on attack move behind the forces. He disengaged. Please, LiveZerg. Oh my god, he took an unbelievable amount of damage, and there's the blink forward. And he's going to lose the rest of these Hydras. That is just a huge blow for LiveZerg, and with his the lack of those top left bases, he's going to be forced to call the GG.
I was just going to say that is game-ending, that decision to move in with Zergling Hydra. Why mass up in Zergling Hydra, man? Like, I haven't seen that in ever.
Like beta, yeah. When Zergs didn't know which units did what. Yeah, that's pretty problematic. You can't just use mass Hydra, especially when your opponent is mixing Colossi. Now, maybe if you had like 16 Corruptors, you could do that, because you just one-shot the Colossi like instantly, and then you wouldn't have to deal with that as much. But without enough Corruptors, just go Zergling Hydra, and then attack move into a well-fortified Protoss position, all from one angle. There was a flank path he could have taken, but he did not take it. Attacked all from one angle, got caught by force fields, put all of his Zerglings through those cannons. It was just, unfortunately, the worst engagement he could have possibly gone for pretty much all game long.
That unit's lost tab, man.
Yeah, I think he just got really frustrated by the War Prism harass, and he was like, oh my god, screw this. I'm just going to end the game and get it over with. I know I've unfortunately made that decision a lot of my games before. It's a hard decision to avoid. You have to be in a really good mentality to, you know, calm yourself, be like, no, I'm going to be patient. He was at 200, so he just made the mistake of thinking, well, I'm at 200, I might as well attack, when the smart move would have been to continue mining off that top left base and continue taking bases and wait for Gatored to move out and make a mistake.
Yep, unfortunate, but, you know, Gatored will take game number 1, so congratulations to him. We'll move on to game number 2 right now and see if LiveZerg can come back into this. Join us. We'll be back after this break.